culture is actually damn good.
You got fire in your gut?
Are you kidding me?
I'm always
I'm calling both games.
This rendition of Sports Ball is brought to you by nothing. It's good to see advertisers are finally coming to their senses.
Nothing.
I need a nice cup of reality. Benchwarmer brew in the armchair quarterback blend. Hot and craft roasted, unlike my takes.
Isn't
Dark
that
and bitter, just like
whose
me.
brand is that? I
Drink the
forgot.
coffee. Just fucking drink it.
Isn't that like
Leave it to
his
Washington to play with
like his
incredible
friends?
fire
I
against
forgot.
one of the best teams in football, only to reveal it was a massive cocktail.
Yep.
I always thought commies were valiant defenders of their homeland.
No.
If they had Washington's defense at Stalingrad, the city would have fallen in 3 hours. What is this Ben, Chicago? Who knew DJ Moore was good when you actually
Damn.
chucked the ball to him? Their O-line is mauling people. Justin Fields has time in the pocket. I thought Washington had big names on defense. Or was that fake like their secondary? Know how sad
Yeah.
the Redskins were? They handed Chicago their first win in almost a year on a silver platter. Riverboat Ron's checked out to his resting quarters and is letting the team flounder. Like a true sea captain nearing the end. So what got into Chicago to not be shit? Probably a legendary bear infusing his spirit in the team from beyond. That actually makes a lot of
Rest in
sense.
peace.
They did it for Dick. I'll gladly accept this as a valid
They
reason.
did it for Dick.
And
That
the gong
doesn't
for a
sound
legend
well,
moving on
but
from this mortal coil.
May he rest
Rest
in
in
peace.
peace,
Yeah, no.
Is your wife constantly nagging you? It's annoying, right? No matter what you do, even if it's just trying to be a good husband, she always has to find a problem with it.
You figured out the defense against Buffalo's relentless rampage across America. Make the team play a game out of America. Against an offense that's been destroying opponents for the
Because Buffalo decided to fly into London on Friday morning. Jet lag is very real.
last 3 weeks, Jacksonville spread them like they were beans on toast. The Jags defense forced the Bills to become one-dimensional. So much so that they repeatedly clamped them down whenever they had a chance. 7 of 11 Bills drives gaining less than 20 yards. Beating them at their own game. And the Jags offense would do just enough to get them another needed dub. Thus deluding Londoners into thinking they are the early 90s Cowboys reincarnate. Now, only if they could do something about randomly imploding in the red zone.
That's true.
That could be a useful improvement.
Oh, Travis.
That's a
goodbye.
smaller concern.
Gone.
It's all
He
good.
gone.
You got the
I remember
win.
this play. He
Buffalo,
gone.
however, must sacrifice another piece for going berserker mode. Matt Milano. He's out for the year.
Really?
Turning into the same shit as last year with them, I swear to God. Bill, it was a hell of a run. You made us hate you for years with Brady and elite defenses and taped practices, but we all have an expiration date. Yours is here. Look at how awful your offense looks.
Following their 34 loss in New Orleans on Sunday, the Patriots ranked dead last in the NFL points per game, points per position, percentage of possession that produces points, expected points added per play. Yeah, no, and I know people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Tom was the real like Tom, the Patriots dynasty goes to Tom's." Like, no, nah, Tom would be looking like Tom would be looking like Big Ben if he continued to play as long as he wanted to. The only reason he could play that long is because in New England, for a decent while, they had competent coaching, and even when they didn't, Tom knew what the fuck he was doing. Tom was so experienced, he knew what the fuck he was doing. But what else? Yeah, no, it's just like Tree said, everyone has expiration dates.
Mac Jones isn't just cooked, he's pissing himself out there. Dude's turning into Squidward in the kitchen, just burning everything in sight behind an O-line that doesn't block. If there's a read, he misses it. If there's a bad throw, he makes it. If there was any confidence, it's gone. Good work, Patriots, you've near completely ruined a promising quarterback. The second straight week Mac was dragged out of a grease fire as he tried to make an omelet. Considering how off he is, it might be his last chance. The Saints used this as impetus for an inquisition. New England's worst home loss since 1969. The worst stretch for a team since the tanking Dolphins of 2019. Punting on a 4th and 3 at the Saints' 40. Is Rod Rush your head coach because it might be 1990? It's also a worst-case scenario for New Orleans. If only because they get another week of Pete Carmichael trying to jam square pegs into round holes. It's a blowout win, but at what cost? Team looked good, but how much of that was simply because the Pats are dead? When you're a top prospect in the NFL, you're usually stuck in shitty situations.
That's so true.
Bryce Young went from roughly the NCAA All-Star team to the football equivalent of Major League.
Yep.
We need to have some serious conversations about the Panthers. How has Ike Ekwonu and the O-line regressed this badly? How has Frank Reich gone from a quality coach to a washed-up bum in 2 seasons? Is David Tepper meddling in team affairs that much? And why is Carolina not getting any credit for being
Panthers wanting CJ Stroud before the draft wouldn't be a thing if CJ were balling right now.
one of the biggest shit
True.
shows in the league?
True.
Charlotte's a hub for transplant.
I prefer, like, let me go back because I didn't hear him correctly. But I will say, Bryce Young, I prefer Bryce over CJ. Bryce, like, I remember watching this man in college, and it pissed me off. Like, fuck Alabama, War Eagle, But when I said, like, out of all the years I've watched college football, I never watched a quarterback. Because I haven't been watching it, like, super long. I haven't been watching college football for too long. But, like, when I saw Bryce Young, I was just like, dude, this man, he is a franchise quarterback in every sense. It's too bad he went to a team that, 1, doesn't know what the fuck it's doing, 2, is dog shit, and 3, it's like, again, oh, let's throw on receivers, let's throw on running backs, yet where's the offensive line? And where's, like it's just,
bad.
It's not even receivers or running backs, what am I talking about? It's just the team as a whole. Oh, it's a team as a whole. I gotta stop always saying, like, wide receivers and running backs. It's just, like, I'm so used to just, yeah, no, it's, God.
How has Frank Reich gone from a quality coach to a washed-up bum in 2 seasons? Is David Tepper meddling in team affairs that much? And why is Carolina not getting any credit for being one of the biggest shit shows in the league? Charlotte's a hub for transplants. And apparently any talent that players have flies out the first chance it gets. Their defense is solid, but if they're out on the field for long stretches of time, of course Detroit's going to eventually break them. The Lions are for real. And they were in the same boat as you for a long time, Carolina. I'd start by wondering how to avoid handing Caleb Williams to Chicago with the first you're giving them. Easy win for the Lions. Well done. Daniel Jones is the NFL's Mr. Potato Head. Every time he gets sacked behind that shitty O-line, pieces of his body keep falling off him. Bad news this week, Giants. Wink Martindale's been waking up in a cold sweat. He walks into his master bath and...
Wait, what?
Wink Martin...
If he wakes up crying, preparing for Dolphins game, like, some to the greatest show on
Martindale's been waking up in a cold sweat. He walks into his master bath and silently...
Why did the football gods say...
weeps in front of his sink. His defense is up against the Dolphins. They can score on teams at will. And New York doesn't have a game-changing answer to stop the likes of Tyreek Hill or Devon Achane. The sad part was that Wink's unit did their job by making incredible splash plays. They forced the Dolphins' offense into 3 critical turnovers, including a 102-yard pick six. They made Tua throw some really shit balls. Yet with their offense without Saquon, they can't take advantage of it. There's nothing here. They can't get anywhere close to the goal line. And against Miami's firepower, you're fucked. When hell rains upon you, you get more than burned. Daniel Jones reached his hit quota for the day and was pulled within. On you, you get more than burned. Daniel Jones
You can see his hope for his life fading.
reached his hit quota for the day and was pulled with injury. Remember, though, if you rightfully criticize the...
Even Evan Neal had a whole lot to say Wednesday among his comments regarding his criticism. Why would a lion concern himself with the opinion of a sheep? The person that's commenting on my performance, what does he do? Flipped hot dogs and hamburgers somewhere?
The shitty O-line, you're a burger or hot dog flipper. The Tywin Lannister quote and all. Hey, Evan, at least the fast food worker can hold his position on a fucking line. Chase Claypool might be joining you there if he doesn't get his shit together.
Why?
It was a rocky road, but sometimes those have to be traveled to realize a fact of life. You don't know what you have until it isn't there. The Colts have been close in games this year, but something's missing. They lack a safety valve for AR. A bitter months-long standoff has led to a realization. Indy needs Jonathan Taylor. On a lonely Friday night, Jim Irsay takes one of his guitars and an amplifier to the outside of Jonathan's house. He plays a sweet, sentimental serenade begging him to come back. The lyrics are nectar to Taylor's ears. A 3-year deal worth $14 million a season. $26.5 million guaranteed. A good way to start to ask for forgiveness for stiffing him earlier. To Wendy's joy, Jonathan says yes. The impasse is over. Glad to see the more logical heads prevailed in this situation. Irsay didn't get in his own way for once, and Taylor got the bag. I'd say everyone wins here.
Hyundai Ioniq 6 versus Tesla Model 3. Look what Ioniq 6 has, and what Tesla...
So, Indy, I have a legitimate question. Why did you throw all that money at Jonathan Taylor if Zach Moss has been running hog wild against defenses over the past few weeks? Don't get me wrong, Taylor is the better running back, but it seems like excess goods. Classic AFC South rivalry game is his return match. And it's an even contest for the most part. Indy and Tennessee are both trying to reload on the fly. And with Anthony Richardson adding new wrinkles to the offense...
Oh, no.
Are you close?